Hello, my name is Andrew WK, and whenever I'm partying on the radio, you better believe it's with Morgan Richards right here on Radio Cardiff. Party hard.
Hey, I'm Morgan Richards from Radio Cardiff, 98.7 FM, and I'm very pleased to say that I'm joined live on the phone in the studio now by a very multi-talented man. He's a multi-instrumental singer-songwriter, entertainer, motivational speaker, and music producer, but of course, known mostly for the king of partying from Manhattan, New York. It's the one and only Mr. Andrew WK.
Wow, that was probably the most complimentary and flattering introduction anyone has ever given me. Thank you, Morgan.
No worries. How are you?
I'm doing very well. How are you doing?
Not too bad, thanks.
I'm feeling very good today. I'm partying, and it's great to be back in the UK, I gotta say.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, as you just said, you're currently in the UK and Europe now, doing a very special run of intimate solo shows and festival appearances to go alongside them, where for the first time in the UK, you'll be doing these very intimate, high-energy club-setting performances, performing tracks from all of your records in this traditional rock and roll style with a supercharged keyboard, pounding a drum machine, and mega microphone.
Wow, exactly right. I could not have said it better than that myself. It is a very intimate show. I was just thinking the best way I could describe this kind of show is like being in my bedroom. Well, not in the bed, but like in a very intimate, like being in my house with a bunch of friends and rocking out to my songs together. So I play with my band all the time, and the last time we were here in the UK was with my band, but this is a very different show where I'm stripping everything away. It's still very high energy, it's still very loud, but really, I hope the people in that room, the audience, I hope they feel like they are my band that night, and it's like a big sing-along together. Truly a party show.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it's going to be one hell of a party just the way you like it, because you're playing some of these really hot and tight venues that you wouldn't normally play, just getting the most chaos you can possibly can.
That's exactly right. I mean, my band is quite large usually, so we have actually 4 guitar players, a huge drum set, all the amps obviously, so we can't fit into a tight space, especially with a small stage, like I can with just my keyboard. And the intimacy that I get from these shows, sort of the up-close and personal power, it actually fuels me. It's made me a better performer for everything that I do. Getting to be really one-on-one close with the people in that room, it's unlike anything else.
That's great to hear. I'm sure you're very excited to get back to doing some shows of your own as well, because recently you've been doing a lot of shows with the legendary Marky Ramone, being a vocalist for his new band of Bliss, and having been on the road playing shows with him religiously for the past year to 18 months, performing classic Ramone tracks and punk jams that really shaped and defined that genre.
That's exactly right, yes. We actually just finished our second European tour. We didn't go to the UK this time, but we did come to the UK, played London late last year, and getting to play these Ramone songs, and it's about 35 songs that we do in about an hour and a half. I mean, it's just an absolute privilege, especially since the original drummer, Tommy Ramone, just passed away. Marky really goes out of his way to keep the legacy alive and to keep the music being played live by someone who's actually in the band for so long. So for me to get to sing those songs, it made me a better singer, maybe a better frontman on stage, and probably just a better person all around, getting to be so close to that music.
Yeah, I can't imagine how surreal it must have been for you to be playing with such a legendary icon.
It is very surreal because I myself, of course, I remember the first time I heard some of those Ramone songs years ago, and they had a huge wave of feeling came over me. And if someone had told me then, like as I was standing in the record store, that I would be standing on stage, 10 years later, singing the song to 10,000 people, I mean, it was more than I wouldn't even believe it. It's hard to imagine that the universe can work in a way that dreams like that come true. So feel very lucky and just, again, very privileged to be able to serve that music, to bow down and worship it.
That's brilliant to hear. And Andrew, just last month, you actually released a brand new track titled Party on Your Grave that features on the epic comedy charity record to help promote education in Kenya and El Salvador, which is a really great cause from the album titled 2776.
That's exactly right, yes. And what an all-star lineup. This is so many amazing people. And as you said, most of them are comedians, but there's also other musicians and assorted, intense characters that came together to make this really amazing record. And the song Party on Your Grave is sort of a concept song. The whole album is a concept album that involves, at one point, a sort of evil motorcycle gang, and this song that I'm singing is part of sort of their theme song. They're very angry, they're very mean, but they're very into partying, so I can relate to that. And I was definitely very happy to be able to contribute. As you said, it's for a great cause, but it's also just such an amazing assortment of talent.
And that track is a bit more comical compared to some of the other really hard partying tracks as well.
Yes, well, this is the first time I've ever done something in comedy like this. That is, the people that are producing the album, they are comedy writers, and they wrote the lyrics for this. They wrote the whole concept, but they asked me, since the song was about partying, they came to me as a party authority, a professional partier, to help lend that sort of party spirit to the track. So I was only so happy to do my best for them and their vision.
Okay, well, brilliant. And while we're speaking of new music, Andrew, do you have any plans to release and write a proper full-length new record? Because album-wise, fans haven't really heard anything from you since your last record 5 years ago, all the way back in 2009.
That's absolutely right, and thank you for asking about this. Yes, I have been working on a new album. I have a whole bunch of songs actually sort of stockpiled in the works, but as you can imagine, it's been hard for me. I'm not proud of it, but I am, I guess, just sort of, I have been frustrated at times by the amount of exciting opportunities that have taken away from time to record the album. But it's like it's the best of times and worst of times in that way, because, for example, when Marky Ramone asks you to tour the world with him, I will put my own album on the back burner for that. I mean, that's a once-in-a-lifetime dream that I never even, I didn't plan. I planned to make an album. I didn't plan to have him ask me to do that. I planned to make an album, and then last summer, Black Sabbath asked me to be their DJ, to play DJ heavy metal songs before their North American tour every night, and I'm not going to say no to that. And there's just, tons of things like that have come up. And in the old days, I used to plan out my life a bit more and say, like, here's what I'm going to do, but I feel like I've turned my soul and my very destiny over to the party gods, and whatever they want me to do, I'm going to do. But with that being said, I hope to have a new album recorded hopefully by next year. Right now I'm writing a book, first ever book about partying, and then hopefully the new album. But you know what, again, it's all up to the party gods.
Okay, so new music is on the cards, though?
It is. I mean, I have songs, and it's just a matter of getting that studio time, but I really appreciate you asking, and I want to do it really, really badly.
Okay, well, looking forward to hearing some more music from you in the very near future.
Thank you. Yes, thank you very much.
And actually, while we're talking about some of your previous material, I actually wanted to mention to you the last record you did put out back in 2009 titled 55 Cadillac, because listening back to that, it was just something completely different. No one really expected, with it being this amazing instrumental piano new wave sound that everyone just got surprised by.
Well, first of all, thank you for being aware of that album. Yes, it is a solo piano album, and yes, I guess it really is very different in that way. But at the same time, and much like the shows on this tour, piano and keyboard is my main instrument. That is the first instrument I ever learned how to play. That's how I learned about music in general, and that's how 99% of all my songs on my albums, even the very guitar-heavy rock albums, they all initially were written on piano. That is sort of the heart and soul. So it was exciting to me to make an album that really was only that keyboard sound, and to actually just make up the songs as I went along, kind of how when I first started learning how to play music, I would just sit down and just make up stuff, and it wasn't really written as a song, and the album's not really recorded as a bunch of songs. It's sort of just me messing around on the piano, for better or worse, because it was a very sort of embarrassing album to make, in that I usually would work very hard and do many takes and overdubs to get the sound exactly perfect. This album has mistakes in it and mess-ups, and in some ways it was very humiliating, but I thought maybe that it would be good to do. I don't really even know what I think about the album, but it exists, and that's good enough for me, I guess.
And going back to your work with that new charity single, you do like to do a lot of work with helping others, whether it be charity or giving fans advice online, or even your motivational speaking, where you've given countless talks at high university special panels and almost got you to visit the Middle East to promote your positive party power.
Well, yes, and no one is more shocked than I am that I've had the chance to be a motivational speaker. It was, again, not something that I planned, but again, the party gods or destiny, however you look at it, fate put me in this position. And when someone asks you a heartfelt question about life, it's very hard to not do your best to be there for them. I don't necessarily have answers. I'm just someone figuring out how to live myself, but sometimes just talking with someone about life is helpful, and just having the sense that they're also thinking about the same stuff that you're thinking about and going through some of the same ups and downs that you are. I feel very lucky that people, for whatever reason, have turned to me and care about whatever I could offer them, but I also also remind them that they should give themselves credit too, because they're finding value in this party, in my offerings, in whatever we go through together. They're extracting value and inspiration themselves. So the power really is in them, in each individual, and I'm just here to help remind them of that.
Okay, right, awesome. And Andrew, as you mentioned a little bit earlier on, recently you just signed a massive book deal with publishing house Simon & Schuster to release a book called The Party Bible a little bit later on in your career. Well, that will sum up your career as a professional partier, and there'll also be an audio version of the book too.
Yes, yes. Thank you for asking about this again. It is a book. I have never written a book before, so just the actual mechanics of writing is a great new challenge for me, learning to type, learning to spell, grammar and things like that. And it's not a book about my life. It's not an autobiography. It's not an autobiography or even really sort of about my experiences. It's a book. It's a philosophy book about the philosophy of partying. Really like a self-help book to how to use this party mindset to make life as enjoyable and meaningful as possible. So it is a big challenge for me, but it has been going well, and hopefully we'll be done writing it by the end of this year. But it really has been an adventure, just this whole new experience of getting the party power generated through words. You know, any way I can reach people or get that excitement going, whether it's through music or through writing or through, talking with you right now on the radio, they all count. Whatever way gets that good feeling for someone is worthwhile.
And the publishers have actually said that this book will pick up where the Book of Revelation ended, and fans have even been contacting you for certain stuff to be in this Bible.
Yes, the publishers are very excited about the book, which I'm very thankful for. Simon & Schuster is a legendary powerhouse of a publishing company, and it's a great privilege that they've gotten behind this with such enthusiasm. But yes, like any good party, it is better when there's more than one person there. So people have been telling me what they want to read about, essentially, in the book. And again, it's sort of like my advice column that I have every week in New York City in the Village Voice. It's also online. People write into me and ask me questions about life there. So I'm really trying to make this book answer those questions. And again, if it's not like the best answer or the exact right answer, sometimes it's not about a right or wrong answer. It's just about having that discussion with someone. So we're talking about life through the lens of partying. That's the Party Bible.
Okay. Well, I'm very much looking forward to getting the hands on a copy of that in the near future.
Thank you very much. Yeah, keep an eye out, hopefully next year.
And Andrew, just a couple more things now before you go. One thing I actually wanted to mention to you was the fact that last year you set the world record for the longest drum session by playing for 24 hours straight in a retail store in Times Square.
Yes, it was the Oakley Sunglasses store, which is a brand of sunglasses I'm very fond of anyway, so that was very exciting. And then, of course, to be in Times Square, Manhattan, New York City, talk about energy. That's a 24-hour part of the globe, really, where real crossroads of the planet Earth, where a lot of people are, so there was a lot of energy from that. And then not only was I playing drums, but I was joined on other drum sets we had in the store by some of the world's best drummers who played along with me and cheered me on and gave me encouragement and motivation to last for that whole 24-hour nonstop challenge. Questlove from The Roots, Chad Smith from Red Hot Chili Peppers, Liberty DeVito, who drummed with Billy Joel for many years, even Cuba Gooding Jr., the Hollywood actor. He came and did a cowbell solo with me, which was just completely unexpected. So I did manage to play for the whole 24 hours, but I can safely say that I never could have done it without those drummers that joined me or without the support of all the people that came and cheered me on. And it was broadcast on the internet too, so the whole world was really there with me, and I really appreciated that.
Yeah, and I imagine it must have been a very, very tired thing after a couple of hours as well.
My back got sore. I thought my arms and hands would get sore, but it was really actually my back sitting in a chair, sitting on a drum stool for that long. That was the hardest part, was just sitting down, any kind of consistent position for 24 hours. That was the hardest part of all. The drumming was actually kind of kept me going because it entertains you and it occupies your mind and, it's fun. But just the fabric from my pants where it creased and folded on my knees and legs and stuff like that hurt even more than my hands did. It was all kinds of challenges I didn't anticipate.
All right, well, that's fair enough. And just one more thing now, Andrew, before you go. Obviously, as I said, you're going to be very busy now in the near future with working on some more brand new material, and of course the book you've got coming out sometime in the future as well. But what else can we expect from you in the near future?
Just tons and tons and tons of partying. That's the only thing that I know. Everything else I've again turned over to the party gods. I sold my soul to them a long time ago, and it's worked out very well. This feels like it's only just begun, and I'm just having a ball and very thankful I get to do it.
Oh, well, brilliant. Well, that's about it. Cheers, Andrew, for taking time out of your very busy schedule to join us on the show.
My absolute pleasure. Thank you, Morgan. Keep partying yourself as well.
I will do. Good luck, of course, with the tour now and everything you've got coming up in the near future, and hopefully I'll be able to catch up with you again very soon.
I would like that very much.
Thank you, Andrew.
All right. Thank you. Bye.